called Ben-Hur.
Who's in it?
According to Pearl, it's got the two biggest actors there is, Francis X. Bushman and Raymond Navarro.
I'd still rather stay here, Pop.
Now, we's all supposed to kind of surround Mr. Brewster and brag on Pearl's piano playing during the picture.
Well, Jethro can brag extra for me.
Jethro ain't going to be there. He just sat there all night and complained about Mr. Brewster having his room. Oh, come on, Ellie. Don't you want to help Pearl get a husband?
Okay, Paul. Bye, Maggie. Well, Paul, ain't you gonna kiss Maggie goodbye?
I don't reckon so. Her husband might not like it. Come on, Ellie. Well, doggy. Jethro, here's a picture of your mom.
Yeah, it says, in person, Pearl Bodine, Wizard of the Keyboard. That means Piany.
Hey, your name is as big as Ben-Hur's.
I begged the manager not to put that up, but he says it's a drawing card. My playing during the picture.
During the picture? Don't you have sound?
Loads of it. Between the people crunching popcorn and crying and reading the titles out loud, you got plenty of sound. Now, everybody go on in and sit down. You're all on complimentary passes. Now, I gotta pop some corn and sell tickets before I come in and play the overture.
Mr. Brewster, did you ever in all your born days see a woman who could do more things than my cousin Pearl? She can cook, sew, keep house, play piano, and no wonder the men around here are just beating your door down to propose. But Pearl's choicey. She's waiting for the right man.
Here comes Aunt Pearl.
Ladies and gentlemen, before our big premiere gets underway, I know you'll want to meet the celebrities in our audience tonight. Now, sitting right here in the front row from Tulsa, Oklahoma, is the field manager of the OK Oil Company, bought my cousin Ted Swamp, Mr. John Brewster. Who's got tomato? Tomato. Homer Winch, get up there and you clean off that screen right now. Ain't you ashamed?
Yeah, Pearl, but I couldn't help myself. I'm just eat up with jealousy. I seen red.
Well, I see it too, so clean off the movie screen. Ben-Hur'll look like he's bleeding before the chariot race ever starts.
Exciting when you're mad, Pearl.
Get up there, you coot. And now, during the playing of the overture, we invite your kind attention to the advertisements which will appear on the screen. I thank you. All right, Charlie!
I never felt him leave.
That serves you right, Pearl. That's what you get for throwing yourself at a city dude.
Hush up.
When them fellas ain't nothing but a bunch of playboys. Just like bees flitting from flower to flower, grabbing up the honey. And then when your petals is drooping, they fly away.
Everybody can hear you.
I ain't ashamed of what I got to say. I love Pearl Bodine.
Shut Homer.
Now, quieten down, Homer. You're making Pearl blush.
Be my blushing bride, Pearl. Right here before your kinfolk, your neighbors, and Ben-Hur. I'm asking you to marry me.
Get up off your knees. You're making a spectacle of yourself.
I caught him, Ma. I was sneaking out the door, and I caught him.
I was not sneaking. I simply went outside for a breath of fresh air.
Put him down. You, wasn't running away, was you, Mr. Brewster?
No, of course not.
Everybody's invited over to my house for apple cider.
Jed, wake up. Jed, you too, Jethro. Come on now, get out from underfoot, both of you.
Granny, we was up late last night.
Yeah, Granny, we want to sleep.
It ain't what you want that makes you fat, it's what you get. Getting up off that floor.
Hey! What do you want to do that for?
Yeah, that's cold.
Now, when I say get, you get.
Floor is cold and hard.
You're getting soft from city life. Now get dressed, get washed, and get packed.
Packed!
You heard what I said. I ain't gonna spend another night in this place. Not with that wild daughter of yourn. I didn't sleep a wink.
Appears to me like you're getting a mite soft from city living, too. Time was when you never minded sharing a bed with Ellie Mae.
I still don't mind sharing a bed with Ellie Mae. But I draw the line when it comes to sharing with them others.
What others?
Well, there was an owl, and a squirrel, a crow, and a fox, a possum, and a skunk, and a porcupine.
Well, I'll go in and speak to Ellie Mae.
I wouldn't go in there if I were you unless you want them flannels took right off you.
What are you talking about?
You know where my mink coat is right now?
Where?
In the top of a tree, full of baby eagles. Their mama and me fought for nigh on to 10 minutes for that coat. But with them claws on her, she could get a better purchase on it. Took it right out the window.
You've been at your rheumatism medicine. I ain't about to swallow no story about
Uncle
a
Jack, Granny, a great big old eagle just snatched the hat right off my head.
See what I told you? When a mama eagle wants to keep her babies warm, she'll grab anything.
Somebody better help Ellie Mae hang on to her blankets, because that rascal just flew in her window.
Frida, you hadn't ought to took Jethro's hat.
Never mind about Jethro's hat. Ask her to bring back Granny's mink coat. Only if she wants to.
Frida, you bring back Granny's mink coat.
And if she's took any suitcases, see if you can get them back, too. We's packing up.
Sit down.
Oh, excuse me.
Good morning, Pearl.
Homer Winch, I told you and I told you, don't come into my house without I invite you.
I happen to be here in my official capacity as a jitney driver.
You want no jitney.
Well, Mr. Brewster does.
Don't say nothing to Mr. Brewster, and I'll bake you 2 pies.
Pearl, there's only one way you can seal my lips and stop my jitney. And that's with a smack.
All right?
No, I didn't say that kind. I mean, with a kiss.
A kiss?
That's my price. Take it or leave it.
Homer! Why, that's the most shocking, disgusting, insulting, disgrace.
Oh, Mr. Brute. Pearl? Where'd you go, Pearl?
Ma's coming, and boy, is she a driver.
She must have heard we was leaving.
Without getting her married to Mr. Brewster.
I reckon we's in for considerable bawling.
Ain't nobody can outcry Ma when she commences to gushing.
Pearl? I I reckon you's heard. We's going back to Beverly Hills. Oh, now, Pearl, you's bawling already.
Don't worry, Pearl. You'll get a feller.
Yeah, come on back to Beverly Hills with us.
I can't.
All right, Pearl, all right. I can't fight a woman's tears. We'll stay here until you marry Mr. Brewster.
Yeah, Ma, and I'll be your best man.
And you can wear that beautiful mink coat on your honeymoon. Pearl, what are you crying about now?
The mink coat.
What about it?
I was driving down the road and a great big eagle took it right out of my lap.
Don't you worry. Ellie Mae!
Yeah, Pop?
You shinny up that tree and tell that grabby eagle to give you back that mink coat for Pearl's honeymoon, or she ain't no friend of yours. Only if she wants to, of course.
Third party.
Ellie, can you come out here and bring your friend with you?
Yeah, Granny?
Now, don't you worry about it, Granny. I'll chuck it out, whatever it is. You gotta get your sleep.
It's
Us, Granny?
your pa wants that polecat. Give it to him.
Now, wait a minute. Don't point that thing at me. We don't want to get drove outdoors on a night like this.
Well, don't you want him, Pop?
I just want to say that Granny'd appreciate it if you'd have this little fella sleep with his own family.
All right, I'll go get the others in.
Oh, no. Outdoors with his family. Otherwise, when we go to California, they might not take him back in. And if a skunk ain't welcome with his own family, he just about ain't got nobody to turn to.
All right, I'll put him out the window.
Uncle Jed, why can't we go back to Beverly Hills right away?
Reckon we can tell him the truth, Granny?
I reckon he's big enough.
Well, you see, we promised your ma we'd stay here and help her till she gets herself married to Mr. Brewster.
Well, how long will that take?
Well, it hadn't ought to take long. She's got him boarding in your room now where she can get at him.
Pearl told me tonight's the night. She's gonna feed him into a stupor, then set him in the parlor and sing to him until he proposes.
It's a powerful combination. Pearl's cooking and singing.
Yeah. If he can get God, Pearl will get him.
Let's try this, Jeffrey. Oh, promise me that someday you and I will take our love together to some sky where we can be alone and faith renewed.
Uncle Jed. Uncle Jed. What's got them wolves so stirred up tonight?
Oh, but something sure is setting them off.
Hey, Link, can't sleep a wink. Go to the right, Granny. Go to the left, Granny.
Them wolves keeping you awake too, Granny?
Hey, sure is.
Howling goes right through you.
It ain't their hollering that's getting me. They're snoring. Look for yourself. Ellie's got two of them under the bed.
Granny, we gotta get that girl back to Beverly Hills. She's going right back to being a wild cougar.
What y'all all doing out here?
Try to keep warm.
Sure is cold in there without you, Granny. Mind if I join you?
I reckon so, if you don't mind a little human company for a change.
Uncle Jed, we just gotta get ourselves back to Beverly Hills.
We will, Jethro, as soon as your ma gets proper hitched to Mr. Brewster. Bless you.
Oh, Pearl, give it all you got tonight. Always all gonna be down with pneumonia. Home joys divine, home joy so pure, love ever faithful and love ever sure.
Ah, that was a wonderful concert. You both are unusually talented.
Thank you. Yes, indeed. That means a lot coming from you. Naturally, folks around here brag on us. In fact, They think we ought to go on a concert tour.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. My neighbors is always after me to sing out of town.
Well, I can understand that.
Mr. Brewster, do you really like music and singing?
Well, I used to. I mean, I used to sing a lot myself in college musicals, amateur theatricals.
Was you on the stage, Mr. Brewster?
Oh, yes. After college, I did quite a bit of little theater work, summer stock. Matter of fact, there was a time when I seriously considered the stage as my career.
Ma, Mr. Brewster's an actor.
Well, not any longer. My father had other ideas. He insisted I get into the oil business.
Mr. Brewster, did you ever do anything from the Bard of Avon? That's Shakespeare. Oh, I just love him.
Well, as a matter of fact, I once played the lead in Romeo and Juliet.
Which one was you?
I was Romeo. In my youth, I was considered quite a leading man type. And there were those who thought I had rather a handsome profile.
Well, you still got it. And I'll bet you can act to beat the band. Oh, come on. Take off a part for her. Something from Shakespeare. Sit down, Jeffrey.
Well, I doubt if I can remember anything.
Oh, please, Mr. Brewster.
Well, perhaps I can recall something from the balcony scene. Let's see now. How does it go? But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief, that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she.
Go to bed, Jeffrey.
I think I'll turn in.
Please, do some more of them love speeches from Shakespeare.
Well, my throat is a little sore. I think I'd better gargle a little warm salt water and go to bed.
Well, I can take care of you. That's another one of my specialties. Nursing the sick.
Well, it might be the flu bug, and you wouldn't want to catch it. Good night.
If his flu bug is as hard to catch as he is, I got nothing to worry about.
Jan, have you ever known it to be so cold?
Never have, Jethro.
This ain't cold. Your blood is thinned out from living in California.
You say this ain't cold, Granny? Look who else is huddled up to the fire. Ellie and her wolves.
When's the wedding?
I'll be married in church.
Yeah, let us see your ring, Pearl.
You want me to carry Mr. Brewster over the threshold for you, Ma?
You don't look too happy.
She don't sound too happy, neither.
Oh, all women folk cry when they're about to get married.
I didn't get him.
Oh. Did you try your best, Pearl?
Oh, Granny, I throwed the book at him. Cooking, sewing, singing. I even nursed him through the flu. Got him well in 5 minutes. But he didn't propose.
Jed, you go out there and do your duty to your female cousin. Ask that city fella what he'd rather get, married or buried.
Now, Granny, I don't hold with getting folks married unless it's willing.
Pearl's got enough willing for both of them. And you going to make a liar out of my bones?
Yeah, I'll have a talk with Mr. Brewster. Where'd he go, Pearl?
He said he was going to park the car on the warm side of the cabin. But he must have run off.
After him, everybody. We'll head him off at the pass and shoot him down like a dog.
Now, you hold on. You ain't shooting nobody down. Just simmer down. Why, he didn't run off at all. Except we'll need you, Ellie, to get him back in here.
How come?
Looks like a couple of your friends are sizing him up for breakfast.
Well, in all sincerity, Mr. Crampett, your cousin Pearl is a very remarkable woman. It's just that, well, I don't want to get married.
Oh, I understand that, Mr. Brewster, and I thank you for speaking the truth like a man. But my cousin Pearl has got herself a problem.
Oh, what's that?
Well, ain't no secrets in the hills. And everybody's dog knows that you've been boarding with her over at her place, and they all know she's had her cap set for you. Oh, I ain't blaming you, Mr. Brewster.
Jed? Did he say yes? Can we come out now?
Not yet a while, Granny.
Well, if you're too chicken to shoot him, Ellie's got her wolves standing by.
Mr. Brewster, in order to save my cousin Pearl from shame, I'm going to ask you to do me a big favor.
Anything I can do.
I want you to propose to her in front of somebody.
But...
And let her turn you down, of course.
Oh, I see. Of course, yes, that'll save face. Pearl will know that she's supposed to turn me down.
Oh, sure, we'll have an understanding with Pearl. Now, the one I think you ought to propose in front of is Elverna Bradshaw.
You know, Mr. Clampett, this idea of yours is quite inspired.
Oh, it's just a notion. You see, Elverna is the biggest gossip in the hills.
No, really, it's brilliant. It combines drama, pathos, suspense. It has a happy ending. Great third-act curtain. It's real theater.
Of course, you'll have to be convincing, so Elverna will...
Convincing? Why, I'll give a performance that the people of these hills will remember as long as they live.
Well, just so that...
When Pearl Bodine turns down my impassioned proposal of marriage, there won't be a dry eye in the house.
Elverna, don't cry easy.
Oh, well, now, surely you're not going to waste this dramatic scene before just one person.
Well, I reckon Elverna's daughter...
I've got it. I've got it. The movie house where Pearl plays the piano.
You want to propose there?
Well, it's perfect. Everybody in town will see it.
I want to kind of shame you to be turned down in front of all them people?
Well, it's just a performance. I've learned one thing in the theater. An actor always gives a better performance in front of a full house.
Well, doggies, that sure is nice of you.
It's my pleasure, Mr. Clampett. Mrs. Bodine, Granny, come on in. Come on in, everybody.
How about everybody? I reckon we better let Mr. Brewster tell you what's going to happen.
Oh. Well, tonight at the movie house, Mrs. Bodine, while the whole town looks on, I'm going to ask you to marry me.
This calls for a whopping big snort.
Now, will y'all quieten down, everybody, until you hear the rest of the story. Now, Pearl, when Mr. Brewster asks you to marry him, you're going to say no.
Not unless I'm as drunk as you are.
Howdy, Pearl.
Evening, Pearl.
Evening, Granny.
Jethro went on to head down to the theater to get a fire going in the stove.
Where's Jethro, Pearl?
Why, she's in her room getting dressed. Go on in and see her.
Granny, what happened to your mink coat?
This is it. Tonight's kind of special, so I'm wearing the pretty side out.
You sure got your pretty side out tonight, Pearl?
Oh, I tell you, Jed, I'm as nervous as if I was going to get a real honest-to-goodness proposal.
And it would be real if your cousin Jed would do his duty and hold a shotgun on that fella, Brewster.
Now, ladies, let's settle for what we got. This way, Pearl can come to California without nobody saying she left town in disgrace.
Good evening. Good evening.
You two got it figured out what you want to say?
Oh, yeah, we rehearsed 12 times. Mr. Brewster will be sitting on the front row, and when the picture's over, he'll jump up and
Excuse me. I've been thinking about that. I believe it would be more effective if I made an entrance.
Entrance?
Yes, I'll come down the aisle.
Oh, all right. And then Mr. Brewster's going to say, Mrs. Bodine, don't go to California with your cousin Jed. Stay here and be my wife.
Excuse I've been thinking about that, too. After a big entrance down the aisle, that's going to seem like a pretty flat opening speech.
Well, you just say what you want to say. All I got to say is, no, I won't marry you. If that's Homer Winch, I'm going to hit him right in the head.
Evening, Pearl.
Brenda Bradshaw, what are you doing here?
Well, you and me being such close friends, I just thought I'd offer to play Piany for you at the theater tonight.
Why?
Surely you're not going to show up and have folks whispering behind your back all during the picture.
What in the world would they be whispering about?
Pearl, I'm your best friend. You don't have to pretend with me. The whole town knows how you've been flinging yourself with that boarder of yours.
For your information, Alverna Bradshaw, Mr. Brewster proposed to me 12 times today, and 12 times I turned him down.
Is that why he give you this here mink coat? 'Cause you turned him down?
This here mink coat was given to me by my niece, Ellen May Clampett.
Oh, Pearl, I keep telling you, you don't have to pretend with me. I'm your best friend.
When Alverna Bradshaw is your best friend, you're up to your eyeballs in enemies.
Mr. Brewster, if you was to go in there now and propose in front of Alverna, you could save yourself a trip to the theater. And the news would get around a heap quicker.
You don't understand, Mr. Clampett. An actor needs an audience.
Alverna, if you don't mind, I'd like you to get out of my coat and out of my house. I'm going to be late for the theater.
Pearl, take your best friend's advice and sneak out of town quietly. You can depend on me to smooth everything over.
Thanks for nothing.
Farewell performance is right. I reckon she'll sneak out of town in a hurry if she ain't already snuck. Mind you, Pearl's my best friend, and I ain't one to talk, but...
Good evening, lady.
You too, Alverna.
Mrs. Bodine, I just saw that poster out front. Farewell performance. Does that mean you are leaving?
Oh, yes, Mr. Brewster. I'm going to California with my cousin Jed and his family.
Oh, no, please. Please, I beg you. I implore you. I beseech you. Don't go. Stay here and be my wife.
No, thank you, Mr. Brewster.
I cannot. I will not accept that answer, for I love you, Pearl Bodine. I love you with all my heart. With all my soul, I love you as no man has ever loved woman before.
He's better than Francis X. Bushman.
Pearl, be mine.
Come back here, Mr. Brewster. No, Mr. Brewster, my answer is no.
Then your life has come to an end. But what is life without love?
If I was him, I'd let it go at that.
Without Pearl Bodine, there is no love. Oh, me darling, oh, me precious. Say those words that will make me the happiest of men.
I'm behind you. My answer is still no.
Better quit while you're ahead, Mr. Brewster.
Oh, how those words stabbed into my heart like cold steel. And only you, Pearl Bodine, can heal the mortal wound. Oh, moon of me desire, marry me, Pearl.
No.
I promise you a life of happiness.
No?
A life of luxury.
No.
Oh, me darling, look into me tear-stained eyes. Look into the tortured face of your love slave. Free me with that one divine word. Say yes. Say yes, and together we will enter a paradise of love everlasting.
Yes, 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 I'll marry you!
Thank you very much. Did you say yes?
That's fine right there, Mr. Brewster. Jethro! You can start bringing them things out now.
Oh, boy, I can't wait to get back to California. I ain't been warm clean through since we got here.
Jethro, take it easy. We've been sleeping on a hard floor. It'd be awful nice to get in a warm bed for a change.
I'll take it, Jethro.
Jethro, I said take it easy. Granny ready?
Yeah, she's just putting on her gaiters. I'll bring her right out.
Well, I hope you'll come visit us in California. We'll be mighty glad to see you, especially Pearl. Her and Jethrine's coming to stay with us.
Big overgrown. Let me get my shoe on, you big overgrown moose.
You can put it on in the car, Granny. We's in a hurry.
Can't leave until somebody finds Ellie Mae.
Where is she?
She took to the woods early this morning with those 2 timber wolves that she's let sleep under her bed.
Yeah, I'll find her. By doggy, it's a good thing we're leaving. One more night and she'd be baying at the moon. Ellie Mae,
Over here, Pa.
you got them wolves with you?
Oh, they won't pester you none. That no-biting promise goes for my pa, too.
Hello there, Maggie. Ellie, honey. Mr. Brewster's waiting, and we got to pick up Pearl and Jethrin and drive clean to the airport.
Ain't Pearl and Mr. Brewster are getting married?
Well, no, not yet. Maybe never. But Pearl's satisfied. Everybody in town seen him propose to her. Now she can leave town with her chin up and her head thrown back, proud and happy.
I'll bet you Cousin Jethrin ain't happy. She says she ain't going to California and leave her sweetie Jezbo to Pew. She's powerful in love with that little feller.
Yeah, I reckon Jethrin will do pretty much what her ma tells her to. Pearl's a mighty strong-willed woman.
Jethrine's pretty near time for them to pick us up. Now, no more sulking. You're coming to California. I don't want to hear no more argument about it.
Okay, Ma, I'm coming.
What in the world have you got there?
The trunk, Ma.
Well, I can see that, but what you got in it?
Well, I got some clothes and some shoes and some food and some water. I forgot the water.
Water, why did...
Miss Bodine, that daughter of yours is a mighty strong-willed girl.
Did she put you in there?
I think so. I told her I couldn't go to California with her. And that's the last thing I remember.
Oh, don't let him get away. Jethrin, you put him down. This minute. What's the matter with you? Why, that poor boy could suffocate in that trunk without no air. Jethrin, am I gonna have to take a switch to you?
Jethrin, honey, like I told you, I can't just pick up and go. I got a big business going here.
Well, couldn't you be a traveling salesman in California?
Darling, it's taken me years to build up this territory. And this is my big selling season. Well, I can knock down $100 in the next 2 or 3 months. And a fella don't walk away from a gold mine like that.
Talking sense, Jethrin.
But Uncle Jed's a millionaire, and Cousin Ellie says they got plenty of room in that mansion. He could stay there with us.
Jethrin, I got my pride. Well, I'd rather die than take charity from my sweetheart's kinfolk.
Oh, but sure, you can write to one another.
Of course. And I'll be here when you get back.
Oh, there they are. Now, Jethrin, you get ready to leave. Well, Mr. Brewster, Brewster, I thought it was my boy Jethro. Cousin Jed come to pick up the suitcase.
Well, no, I asked him to let me come for them. This may be my last chance to see you alone for a moment.
Alone? You? Me? Us? Why would you?
Well, first, I want to thank you for publicly breaking our engagement after I lost my head, as I did last night.
Oh, shucks. I didn't mean it when I said yes. It was just nerves and excitement in the moment.
Well, you were very sweet about it.
Yeah, well, but now that my head is clear and I'm thinking straight, well, I realized I couldn't get married right now.
Some man would lose a wonderful wife.
My goodness, I got family obligations, you know. Why, Cousin Jed's been after me 3 or 4 months to come to Beverly Hills and get that wild daughter of his proper dressed and acting like a lady.
I'm going to miss you, Mrs. Bodine.
Yes, well, he's in desperate need of me. I don't know what come over me last evening, but now that I had a good night's sleep in the morning, coffee, got my wits together, well, I could just laugh at myself for even considering marriage.
Mrs. Bodine, I just want to say that I think you're a splendid woman, and I'm sure our paths will cross again. And, well, I'd consider it a great honor if you'd allow me to kiss you goodbye.
Kiss me? Well, I hardly think there'd be anything wrong with that.
Well, Miss Brewster, is that a new hat, ain't Pearl?
Oh, Ellie Mae, look, Jeffrey's in there saying goodbye to her sweetie, Jasbo Depew. So why don't you go in and say goodbye to him, too?
Huh? All right. I ain't never met him.
Jethrin, you're just going to have to get it through your head. I cannot go to California, and that's that.
Howdy.
Well, hi, Cousin Ellie. This here's my sweetie, Jasbo Depew.
Howdy, Jasbo.
And a great big howdy to you. This girl is the cousin you've been telling me about?
Yeah, Jasbo. She's the one we'll be staying with in California.
Well, poke me another air hole, baby, and let's go.
Oh, good morning, Chief.
Morning. Well, I just had a call from Brewster in Tulsa. The Clampetts are on their way home.
Jethro? Oh, I mean the Clampetts.
Yes, and they're bringing a cousin and her daughter along. That'll be 6 of them. I think I'd better order an extra limousine.
Chief, if I may suggest, the personal touch is very important to these people, and they are the bank's largest depositors. I would be happy to volunteer my car and myself. I can take at least half the load. Jethro. And the luggage. See, Chief, I have bucket seats, and Jethro is quite a bucketful. How's about 3 apiece, Chief?
Fine. We'll be ready to leave the airport about noon.
Entendu, mon capitaine.
Time to leave for the airport, Miss Hathaway.
Right. Don't be alarmed, Chief. This is just for the Clampetts. I have no intention of disrupting office discipline with my seductive appearance.
What a remarkable change.
3 hours in the beauty salon.
Tell me, are you busy tonight? Because if you're not, I'd like you to work and make up those 3 hours.
They could have missed the plane.
Oh, impossible. Brewster phoned me after he put him on board.
Oh, miss, are there any more passengers aboard?
Yes, there are 6. Well, they appear to be hillbillies.
Was there anything wrong with them?
Oh, no. You see, we served lunch before we arrived, and they refused to leave the plane until they helped do the dishes. And we served 120 lunches. Well, here they come.
Flight 201 for Chicago and New York is now loading at the East Concourse.
Oh.
Thank you for sharing your food with us. And thank you for doing the dishes. You sure you don't want us to wash the windows? It won't take long if we all pitch in. Thank you.
Drysdale, howdy.
Welcome home, Mr. Clampett.
This here is my cousin, Pearl Bodie.
Oh, howdy, Mr. Drysdale. Oh, Excuse my wet hands.
Oh, it's quite all right. Well, how did you enjoy your plane ride?
I don't believe it. I plain don't believe it. It's a miracle.
Oh, well, it ain't nothing. You ain't seen nothing, Pearl. Wait till we ride on that escalator.
Yes. Well, my car's out in front, Mr. Clavitt.
Come on.
Mon amour.
That ain't my name. Who are you?
I am a wild and mysterious gypsy. I have come to take you away to my gypsy camp.
You got some food there? Well, I can't stay long, but I am kind of hungry. Helping wash all them dishes give me quite an appetite.
Jet, them stairs is moving. We're having a California earthquake.
Pearl, them stairs are supposed to move like that.
What for?
I don't know, but that's what they call an escalator. Only thing is, last time we was here, they was moving the other way. Well, come on.
Well, we ain't gonna get on them crazy stairs.
Oh, come on, Pearl. Once you're on there, you like it.
Welcome home, Allie Mae.
Howdy, Mr. Drysdale.
Welcome home, Granny.
Thank you.
Well, where's Jeth Reed?
Last I saw of her, she was still eating.
Well, now, that wasn't bad, was it?
No, it was fun. Let's go up and ride down again.
Oh, no, Pearl. It's fun, all right, but it just ain't worth fighting your way back upstream.
Yes. This place is haunted. A ghost just went through that door.
That ain't no ghost, Pearl. That's what they call, electric eye. They got them all over out here.
Well, you go first. I ain't taking no chances on crowding a spook.
Come on, Benny. I can get on that ground, Benny.
I'll go with Mart and take the luggage around to the service entrance.
I can't believe it. I've seen pictures, but I just can't believe it. It ain't real. It's real, Ma. Jeffrey, don't you knock no holes in your Uncle Jed's mansion.
Ah, she can't hurt it, Pearl.
Wait till you see inside, Pearl. It's the biggest bunch of indoors you ever did see.
It's a palace. There just ain't no other word for it. It's a dad-blame palace.
How do you get it started, Uncle Jed?
Get what started?
These here stairs. Ain't they like the ones at the airport?
No, you gotta climb those yourself.
Come on, Jeffrey. I'll show you outside.
Granny, how do you ever wash that thing?
Ain't washed it yet, Pearl.
Oh, well, don't you worry. I'll do it.
Pearl, now this here is what they call the drawing room.
Drawing?
Wait till you see this piano. The whole thing is hand-painted. Yeah, Pearl, ain't that just about the prettiest piano you ever did see? It's got pictures on it.
Look at the dust. Granny, did you run up them curtains?
No, they was here when we came.
Well, as soon as we get settled, I'll run up some new ones. Them windows ain't been washed in weeks.
Well, Pearl, you know, it's a mighty big house. It'd take a miracle woman to get it all done.
Looks like I've come just in time, huh? Where's the kitchen, Jack?
I'll show you.
32 rooms in this house, and something tells me it ain't gonna be big enough. What do you think?
Well, I think I should have brought my coal oil stove.
For your information, Miss Pearl, we got gas.
Well, I don't wonder. Nothing but uncooked food. Your pump is stuck tight right it ain't been used so long, Pearl. You know, Granny, we got a lot of work to do to get this kitchen in shape.
Granny, did you tell Pearl this is the kitchen?
I ain't been able to tell Pearl nothing. She won't quit flapping her trap long enough.
Pearl, come on. This here's the kitchen. That there's what they call a pantry.
My stars and God. What? A person could feed an army in here.
Well, the way those two young'uns of yours eat, that's just what you'll have to do.
Pearl, look at this stove here. All you have to do to get fire is turn one of them little things right here without lighting no matches nor nothing. Now, look at here. This here lights this in here. This one lights this one. And this one lights this in here. And this one lights this one. What do you think of that, Pearl?
I declare, I'm just speechless.
That'll be the day.
Look at this ice box here. Just take a look. You ever seen anything like that before? Look at that.
Well, I don't like to mention it, kid, but somebody left the light a-burning in there. I reckon some people just don't care how they waste other people's money.
The light comes on when you open the door.
You don't say.
He pert near didn't with you pounding your gums.
Hey, Pearl, Jeffrey wants to know where's the suitcases, especially the big one with the sandwiches in it.
But Jethro said he'd bring in the suitcases. Jethro. What happened to my boy? Where's Jethro?
Well, the last time I seen him, a dark-haired gypsy woman was taking him away.
A gypsy's got him. My baby's been carried off by the gypsy.
Don't worry, Pearl. One meal and they'll carry him right back.
They might have a little bit mixed up. Besides, Jethro is big enough to take care of himself.
Yeah, Mama's in here. Come on in.
My baby, where you been?
With the gypsy woman? We stopped to get something to eat.
I told you one meal and they'd bring him back.
You gypsy kidnapper. I'm gonna snatch you both.
Out of the way.
What you doing being a gypsy?
Just a little harmless fun, Mr. Clampett. When Jethro failed to recognize me, I couldn't resist continuing the masquerade.
Ma, this here's Miss Hathaway, Mr. Drysdale's secretary.
I'm happy to know you, Mrs. Botine. I have brought your son back safe and sound.
Well, thank you. Is your hair back?
How about staying for supper, Miss Hathaway?
Oh, I wouldn't want to be any trouble.
Well, I figured with company at the table, there wouldn't be so much trouble.
Well, you taste Granny's sweet potato pie.
Ain't nobody can make sweet potato pie like my ma.
Now, they is both very fine, extra good cooks, but Pearl not knowing her way around the kitchen, I reckon.
Oh, well, don't you worry none about that, Jed. I'll have this kitchen put in order in no time.
It ain't out of order. Ellie, you get rid of the ants. I'll start the cooking.
What aunt?
Start with your Aunt Pearl.
Well, I like that.
I'll bet you won't like what I'm going to say next.
Girls, I got an idea. Now, Pearl, you know there ain't nothing more soothing and appetizing than a mess of piano playing and sweet singing before supper. But I figure a body can't be doing that and cooking at the same time.
No, I don't think they hardly could, Jed.
Right. Now, somebody will get Mr. Drysdale. We'll all sit around while supper's cooking and listen to the kind of music that has made the name of Bodine famous from Oxford to Eureka Spring.
Ever see anybody bake a fluffier pie than that one?
Some folks don't know that cakes is fluffy and pies is juicy.
Itself. You did that on purpose, Pearl Bodine.
My pie can't fall.
It can't, huh?
Just did. Granny!
Pearl, I ain't never heard you play the piano any prettier than you're playing that right. You ain't playing the piano.
You betcha I ain't.
feel the same way, Jethrine. Mr. Drysdale, if I got enough money to take everybody out to a nice eating place...
Mr. Clampett, with your money, you can buy the finest restaurant in Beverly Hills.
Before the battle's over, that's just what I might have to do. Come on, everybody.
You ought to be ashamed to let me sleep this late. My half the day is gone as pretty near sun up. Land sakes alive, I ain't stayed abed this late in 72 years.
Morning, Granny.
Now, Jethro, don't you yell at me. I'm going to get breakfast just as soon as I can.
Ma's done give us breakfast already, Granny. And now she's got us cleaning the house from top to bottom.
How come no one woke me?
Well, she says we ain't supposed to wake you. That's how come she shut off your alarm clock.
So Pearl done it. I'm sorry I took it out on you, Clock.
Jethro, your boss says bring you this bucket of suds. Oh, morning, Granny. How's your rheumatiz?
What rheumatiz?
Pearl said you was having some twinges last night. That's how come she put a little Mountain Dew into your squirrel soup.
Pearl spiked my soup?
Yeah, she figured it would help you to sleep. And you was liking it too, Granny. You kept asking for another slug of soup.
Well, that's because I couldn't believe that Pearl could make such good soup.
Granny, what are you doing up? Ain't Pearl said I was to give you your breakfast in bed?
Bed's is for sleeping, not eating.
Well, ain't Pearl said a body had to be waited on and took care of when it gets to be your age?
My age? Why, I'm in the prime of life. And you tell your Aunt Pearl that... Never mind, I'll tell her myself.
Nah, don't get riled up at Pearl. I reckon she's just trying to be helpful.
She's about as helpful as an alligator in a swimming hole.
I'd rather be caught twixt a pair of scrapping bobcats than two women trying to run the same house.
Sakes alive. With all these newfangled gadgets, work around here is just plain. Where you going with that, Jethrine?
Outside.
I told you to take it up to Granny's bedroom.
Granny told me to take it outside.
You're taking your orders from me and not from Granny. That poor woman is old and tired, and we owe it to her to let her rest. I just hope and pray when I get to be her age that somebody will be looking after me.
You can quit hoping and praying. And if you keep messing around my kitchen, you ain't gonna get to be my age.
Don't stand there. Do as Granny says. Take it outside. How do you feel, Granny? Did you sleep off the soup? I mean, did the soup help you to sleep?
Now, you listen to me, Pearl, and you listen good. When you was a baby and you needed it, I spanked you. And when you was a toddler, I paddled you. And when you was a young'un, I swished you. And I can still do it, Pearl. Besides, the target's a heap much bigger today.
Granny, don't be riled. You was looking poorly last night, and I figured you needed a little rest. Honest, you look like the dogs that had you under the porch.
You can't scare me with that. I got a head of steam bigger than it has.
Gonna make pretty music when you make it shake like this, Uncle Jed?
That ain't for playing with, Jethro. You bust that and your ma'll tan you good.
Pa? I didn't wash the front of the house as high up as I can get. I'll need a ladder to get the whole thing.
Get you to wash the whole outside the house?
Yes, sir. She said every inch of it.
Well, if she ain't the cleanest woman. Well, come on, I'll help you.
Granny? Granny! You can hurt a body with an iron skillet like that? Oh, Jethro, protect your boy.
How can Granny hurt your Ma? You said she was too old to get out of bed.
I know you was too old to get out of bed.
Here she comes.
I get it, Mom. Hey, Jethro, that looks like fun. I'll swing you now, but you gotta swing me later.
I told you that wasn't for playing on. I'll get down from there. Come on. Come on, get Pearl. Get your big overgrown boy off the chandelier.
I'll get him off of there if you get Granny off of me.
Granny!
You see him? He tried to kill me.
Oh! This has gone far enough. All of you. Now, Jethro's gone to fetch the truck around, and we's all going for a nice long drive and cool off some of the tempers in his family.
Ain't Pearl? Ain't Cousin Jethrina coming?
Oh, no, honey. She wants to practice her singing. She can go sightseeing another time.
Listen to that. You ought to be ashamed of yourself running off and leaving a child that sick.
Jethrina ain't sick, she's singing.
Well, she's singing sick.
For your information, my daughter's training for the stage.
Well, now, that's one thing she can do, drive a stage.
This snapping and backbiting twixt you two has got to stop. Quick as Jethro gets here with the truck, we're going to take a nice long drive and show Pearl some amazing sights.
She ain't never gonna see no more amazing sights than she sees every morning when she looks in the mirror.
I wouldn't talk if I was you.
Look it, Pa. Yonder comes a truck and there's nobody driving it.
What's the trouble, Jethro?
It's out of gas, Uncle Jed. They ain't even enough to get to the filling station.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Ellie, you run the house to get Granny's jug. The big one.
Ooh, don't tell me that child ain't sick. Nobody makes a noise like that on purpose.
You're going to be sorry you said them things when Jethrina commences singing with a big orchestra like Rudy Valley. Ooh, Rudy Valley and his Connecticut Yankees.
Did you hear that, Jed? Your traitor cousin Pearl is letting her daughter desert to the Yankees. Well, I reckon they're getting what they deserve.
Guess what, Ma? They tell me at school there's lots of movie stars live on this street.
Do you reckon that Francis X. Bushman lives in one of them houses?
Wouldn't be a bit surprised.
Oh, my stars and garters. If I was to meet him face to face, I'd faint that away.
So would he.
What'd she say, Ellie?
Well, she said...
Look at that big house down there. I bet you the movie star lives in that one.
Oh, Jethro, drive up the driveway, and I'll go to the door and ask for directions.
Directions to where, Ma?
Directions to the next corner. Who cares? You didn't stop.
I know how to get to the next corner.
Now we passed it. Why, that might have been Raymond Navarro's house. I might have got acquainted with him and told him how I play piano at the movie theater back home. Why, I could have played and sung the song I wrote for the chariot race in Ben-Hur.
Simmer down, Pearl. I don't reckon that was Mr. Navarro's house. I got a good look up the driveway as we passed. The barn door was open. There wasn't a span of horses or a chariot in there.
Well, slow down anyway, Jethro. Land sakes, if I was to see Rod LaRock or John Gilbert or Hoot Gibson, why, I wouldn't even have time to ask for their autograph.
Some women is just plain man crazy.
What'd she say, Ellie?
Well, she said some
Let's drive down to the business part of town, Jethro, and show Pearl some of the beautiful buildings and stores they got there.
Okay, Uncle Jed.
Tell your Aunt Pearl not to fret. They's men there, too.
Aunt Pearl, Granny said...
Never mind, Allie. Drive on, Jethro.
I think we'll see some movie stars down there.
Come in, folks. The movie's about to begin. By the way, the wax figures out front are by courtesy of the Beverly Hills Movie Museum.
Looky, Aunt Pearl. There's the moving picture theater up yonder.
Yeah. I wonder if they need a right good first-class piano player.
Why, do you know one?
Now, I have taken
Say,
all...
Pearl, ain't them movie stars out in front of that theater? Top of my Jethro.
I can't believe it. It's Douglas Fairbanks, Rudolph Valentino, and William S. Hart.
I have never seen one woman as man crazy and movie star crazy as William S. Hart. Lay me off of here.
Jethro, drive on before we embarrass them poor fellers.
Bill, honey, you're my hero. Yoo-hoo, yoo-hoo, bang, bang.
Hey, Jethro, let's go for a swim.
I'm too hungry, Ellie Mae. All that driving around, give me an appetite.
Yeah, I reckon all that fresh air give us all an appetite. I'm empty as last year's bird's nest myself. About eating time, too.
I reckon I got time for a little friend before Biddle.
Hurry up, Ellie Mae. I could eat a horse.
Well, just everybody relax. I'll have victuals to cook in for you can say Jack Robinson.
Jack Robinson. And you stay out of my kitchen.
I believe that kitchen happens to belong to my cousin Jed.
Well, I's a granny, and grannies is closer than cousins.
Not when the granny's on the wife's side. I got clamped blood in my veins.
You want to keep it there, you stay out of my kitchen.
Hey, Uncle Jed, come on back. There's gonna be a fight.
Oh, I don't fight nobody twice my age.
There ain't nobody twice.
Now, let me tell you.
Uncle Jed, you're breaking up a good fight.
Jethro, why don't you go out and help your sister Jethrine?
What's she doing?
I don't know. Find out what she's doing and go help her.
Ah, you never let me have any fun.
Now, I'm asking you just as nice as I know how to stop all this backbiting and bickering. You're both fine-looking women. I'm proud to be kin to you. Why, if folks didn't know, they'd think you was Ellie Mae's sisters.
Huh?
Oh, Ellie, honey. Why don't you take these two pretty girls swimming down to the cement pond? That ought to cool them off.
In the dead of winter?
Oh, the water stays warm all year round, ain't Pearl?
Yeah, it must be fed by some kind of hot mineral springs or something.
Oh, that ought to be mighty good for your rheumatiz, Granny. And I'll fix lunch while you're swimming.
I told you to stay out of my kitchen.
And I told you that...
Now, that's enough. And I hear one more word spoken in anger out of either one of you, dogged if I ain't gonna take a switch to you.
Ain't Pearl? Granny ain't too fond of swimming, but I'd be mighty proud.
These two, I gotta go back up the house.
I will, Jed.
Hey, Ma, you want to race Ellie and me to the fur end of the pond and back?
In the water?
Yes.
And get my swimming suit wet?
Yeah.
Oh, you do bear watching, both of you. Is them ham hocks?
Yeah, Ma.
Where'd they come from?
From pigs, I reckon.
How did they get here?
Well, I took them out of the icebox. I was getting awful hungry.
Was you gonna eat them raw?
Of course not.
Huh.
I was going to keep my swimming trunks on.
Ellie Mae,
Yeah, Pearl.
what is this thing? Looks like a stove on wheels.
Well, that's what it is. It's called a portable barbecue. You just put a fire in there, then you lay the meat on this thing.
All right. Ellie Mae, you fetch some firewood. Jethro, you slice them ham hocks.
What would you like to hear next, Uncle Jed?
Well, can you play Dixie?
Why, sure.
I sure do like to sing that song.
It's right good for dancing, too. Would you do a jig?
Well, if the music happens to get down around my feet, I might just cut loose and stomp a spell. Better take my coat off just in case it does. Oh, I wish I was in the land of cotton. Old times there is not forgotten. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. I wish I was in Dixie. Hooray, hooray. In Dixieland I'll take my stand to live and die in Dixie. Away,
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 away, away, dance.
Come and get it! Come and get it! Come on, everybody, victuals on! Land sakes, they're all so hungry they can't get up. Come on, Jethro, I know you can make it.
Oh, please, Granny, we just done eat 5 ham.
Dad?
Granny, them little hams is the best you ever cooked.
I didn't cook no hams.
I cooked them, Granny.
How'd you get in my kitchen without me seeing you?
I cooked them on this here stove with wheels.
Ma can cook anywhere.
Well, let's see her cook where I'm gonna...
Don't do it, Granny!
Just a minute. Here's your stove.
You know something, Granny? I feel sorry for Mr. Drysdale. Well, that poor man might as well be single with his wife gone all the time.
He's a lost soul, Jed. I was glad you invited him over for supper last night. But even my cooking didn't cheer him up.
Yeah, I noticed he hardly touched his plate of grits and possum belly.
Even when I spooned on some gopher gravy.
He didn't perk up till after supper, and Pearl started playing and singing.
Don't tell me he liked Pearl's bellering.
That wasn't bellering, it was yodeling.
Well, it curdled the milk clean out to the kitchen. Oh, I've thrown shoes at tomcats that made prettier music than Pearl.
I sure wish you two women would get along together.
We ain't gonna get along together till she learns to stay out of my kitchen. I bet she's in there right now, sticking her long nose into my pots and pans. By dingy, if she is...
Now, Granny, you just cool down.
I warned you to stay out of my kitchen.
Oh, Jethro, save your mom. Protect me from that wild woman.
Hold her, Jethro, so I can tackle her.
Granny, a thing like that could smart.
Put me down, big overgrown put.
Hey, what's going on here? Jethro, put your Granny down.
He was fixing to whomp Ma.
I'll whop her.
Here, Ma, now it's a fair fight.
I'm not gonna whomp nobody.
Well, then you tell Pearl the next time she sticks her nose in one of my pots, I'm gonna cook it.
It is my bounden duty as a mother to supervise the victuals of my growing children.
Don't tell me they is still growing.
The Clampett side of the family has always been big, strong, strapping folks. It's your family that brought in the runts. Who you call a runt?
I think she meant you, Granny.
He's about as helpful as a high wind in a prairie fire. Come on, Pearl, you and me's gonna have a talk. Jethro, you stay here and help your Granny cool down.
Okay, Uncle Jed. Granny, would you rather I held you under the faucet here to cool off, or took you out to the cement pond and ducked you?
Try either one, and I'll bash you flatter than a gander's arch.
Now, Pearl.
Cousin Jed, I know just what you're going to say. You're going to say, Pearl, stay out of the kitchen. You're going to say, that's Granny's kitchen, and it's none of your business. You're going to say, stay in your room where you belong. That's what you're going to say, ain't it?
Ain't nothing like it at all. What I was gonna say was, it seems to me that a handsome widow woman in a prime of life ought not to be hiding herself in the back part of the house, working over steaming pots and pans and dipping her panty-playing fingers into soapy water and hoarsening up her beautiful singing voice yelling at Granny. That's what I was gonna say.
Praise be. Why don't I keep my big mouth shut and just listen?
You know, Pearl, you got the gift of making music. And I reckon there ain't nothing these city fellas likes better than that.
Really, Jay?
Yeah, remember last night when Mr. Drysdale was here and you was playing and singing and yodeling for him?
Yeah.
You brung that poor lonesome man a lot of happiness.
Jed, you ain't agreeing in me, are you?
I'll give you my word. Remember that song you sung, The Flowers That Bloom in the Spring, Tra-la?
Yeah.
Well, you had Mr. Drysdale believing it was spring.
No.
Yeah. While you was still singing, he went, flung open the window, stuck his head out, and started taking deep breaths, just like he was really smelling them flowers.
You reckon he liked my yodeling?
Pearl, he like to went wild. I reckon them city fellas don't get a chance to hear much yodeling. 'Cause when you throwed your head back and cut loose, it really grabbed a hold of him.
It did?
He gripped the arms of his chair till his knuckles turned white. Then he commenced to rocking back and forth and moaning like he's under some kind of a spell. And his eyes commenced to circling in his head, and real tears run down his cheeks. Before you got done, he was limp as a dish rag. I had to help him to the door.
Uncle Jed, I can't seem to do nothing to cool Granny off.
Ain't no need to, Jethro. Your pretty, young, piano-playing Ma has decided not to hide herself away out in the kitchen.
That's a good idea, Ma, because Granny, she'd find you and whomp you.
Well, we'll see about that.
Well, you stay out here and practice playing and singing and yodeling. I'll take care of Granny.
I wonder if I should have told Uncle Jed that Granny's waiting behind the door with a skillet to whomp the first person that sets foot in her kitchen. Reckon I should have.
Jed, I'm sorry. I thought it was Pearl coming in.
Granny, you done shortened me.
I'll make a poultice for your head right away now, Jed. Right away.
I'm telling you, Granny, you don't have to worry no more about Pearl coming in your kitchen. She's gonna be spending her time getting herself a husband with her singing and yodeling.
Jed, it ain't legal to torture a man into marrying you.
You just don't realize the power Pearl's yodeling's got over men. Last night, Mr. Drysdale like to went wild.
Pretty near drove me crazy, too.
He loved it, Granny. I bet you he's got that yodeling ringing in his ears right now.
I can still hear it. That unearthly screeching.
Now, Chief, surely it wasn't that bad.
Well, I can best describe it as the sound a woman might make if she were having her appendix removed without an anesthetic.
Milton, darling.
Margaret, I'm so glad to have you back, dear.
What a cunning hat, dear. Is it you?
Welcome home, Mrs. Drysdale.
Thank you. Milford, I have the most marvelous news. I'm going to a health farm in Arizona.
What?
Some women were talking about it on the plane. It's terribly chic, quite expensive, and you don't need any willpower. They just force you to be healthy. The doctors are all deliciously mean.
But, Margaret, you are healthy. Every doctor in the United States says you're healthy.
But, dear, this is different. They reduce you as well.
Margaret, if you want to lose weight, just stay home and we'll have dinner at the Clampetts every night. Now, you can't eat the food, but you won't leave hungry. Because Cousin Pearl will yodel your appetite away.
But, Milburn, it's so fashionable to go to a health farm.
Oh, Margaret, please stay home and run the place for a while.
You have plenty of servants.
Yes, but we have no one to manage the place. And with both of us away most of the time, the servants are asleep on the job.
Well, just hire a good, efficient housekeeper.
Oh, yes, just try and find one. Oh, Margaret, please stay home.
All right. That's the way you feel. Miss Hathaway. I'll stay home, just as you wish.
That's my darling.
Yes, Mrs. Drysdale?
Telephone the pharmacy and have all my prescriptions refilled. And call my psychiatrist, my neurologist, my internist, and my osteopath and have them come over. Oh, and I'll need nurses around the clock. I just know servant problem's going to bring on a nervous breakdown.
All right. Go to the health farm.
No. My place is at home.
Please go to the health farm.
All right. If you're sure that's what you want.
Oh, I want it.
Milburn, I promise to come back a new woman. Bye. Just think, Milburn, you'll have a young, glamorous wife. Slim, trim, beautiful.
All right. Start looking for a new housekeeper.
Won't do any good, Chief. We've been through this. Mr. Drysdale's office. Who's calling, please?
Tell him it's a surprise.
Surprise?
That's what you said.
Milburn Drysdale speaking.
What in the world is that?
That is Pearl Bodine yodeling. Now, when she comes up for air, tell her I was drafted.
Chief, she might be the answer to your housekeeping problem.
What?
Be nice to her. I'll explain.
Hello? Hello?
Hello, Mrs. Bodine. How nice to hear your voice again. You saying?
Mr. Clampett says that Pearl is such an industrious housekeeper that Granny is jealous. She might take over your house and hers and solve both your problems.
What about that yodeling?
I won't be there. And I defy any servants to sleep on the job with Pearl around.
Hello?
Hello, Mrs. Bodine. I wonder if I might come over and talk to you for a while.
What, talk to me? Well, what about?
Well, I think you may be just the woman I've been looking for.
Yeah.
To take over the running of my house?
Well, yes. Come right ahead.
Can we say 3 o'clock?
Let's say 2. Goodbye.
Will you stop that infernal caterwauling of yours?
It might be infernal caterwauling to you, but it's pure catnip to man. Now, looky there. I hit such a perfect note, it busted the glass.
It wasn't your voice that busted the glass. It was your face.
We'll see who gets the last laugh when my sweetie comes.
Sure is nice of you to share your soap with Miss Drysdale.
Well, with my lye soap, she'll be happy to stay home and do her housework.
Granny, most powerful batch of soap that you ever made. Just a breeze blowing it back on me on the way over here has got me crying.
I make a big soap to do a big job.
Arrivederci, au revoir, toodaloo.
Howdy, Miss Drysdale.
Hello. Goodbye.
Where are you going?
Melbourne is sending me to a help farm. Martin, are we loaded?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, let's fly.
Just a minute, Miss Drysdale. Granny and me brung you something.
Yeah, honey. Take a good whiff of this.
How nice of you. Tell the gardener to spade it in around the rose bushes. Toodaloo.
Oh, just a minute, ma'am. Granny and me'd like to talk to you.
I have time. The sooner I go, the sooner Melbourne will have his new wife.
Did you say new wife?
Completely new. Young, glamorous, slim, trim, and beautiful. Oh, Martin, did we take my medicine?
16 bottles, Mrs. Drysdale.
Good. Drive on. Toodaloo.
How could a woman be so cheerful about her husband getting a younger wife?
You heard her. She's loaded.
Yeah, both of them. Sued to the gills.
Who do you reckon is the woman that busted him up?
Hard to tell, Granny. There's so many young, beautiful women out here.
Yeah, probably one of them glamorous movie stars.
Oh, Mrs. Bodine.
Why, Mr. Drysdale, you are anxious.
I declare, Mr. Drysdale, you're ticklish. Now, look, I'm gonna let you sit easy, and I'm gonna darn that up before you know it.
Oh, Mrs. Bodine, no, really, I can manage.
No, I ain't taking orders yet.
No, please, give me back my sock.
Give me
my
I know
sock.
how to handle you.
No, Mr. Bundy! No!
Mr. Drysdale.
I reckon Pearl is a young, beautiful woman that busted up his marriage.
What?
It's been her singing and yodeling that drove him to it. Mr. Drysdale.
Mr. Clappett, it was just, your cousin and I were... Oh, no, we weren't.
Jethro, leave the room.
Leave the house.
Did you have to come back right now? We was just going great.
Pearl, what's the matter with you?
Man crazy, always was.
Mr. Drysdale, get yourself decent. I'll be back to talk to you.
Shame on you. You too, Pearl, you homewrecker.
I don't know what you're talking about. You told me that Mr. Drysdale was crazy about my yodeling, so I called him at the bank, and I yodeled, and he come a-running over here to see me.
You done yodeled your way twixt Mr. Drysdale and his wife?
Wife, I didn't know he had a wife.
Well, he has. The sweetest, kindest, nicest, drunkenest woman you ever saw.
You done sent her to the farm. Put her out to pasture so he can marry you.
You seen her leave him. Oh, she knows about you, Pearl. Said her husband was going to get a new wife. Young, glamorous, slim, beautiful. Jed, that can't be Pearl.
You're forgetting what a powerful spell her voice throws on a man. Now, Pearl, I'm going back in there and try to talk some sense to Mr. Drysdale. Whatever you do, don't yodel.
Oh, Mr. Clampett, I'm terribly embarrassed about the picture we must have presented when you came in, but I assure you I wasn't at fault. Yes, your cousin Pearl is one of the most...
Yeah, my cousin Pearl admitted that she called you on the telephone and stirred you up. But she didn't know you were going to send your wife away to make room for her.
Oh, but I didn't. In the first place, my wife is never home.
So I can still walk over to your house.
Oh, he's gonna pick me. Ain't you, sweetie Milby?
Oh, no, he ain't. He's gonna take me, ain't you?
Listen, you get your banker grabbing hands off of him.
Who you shoving, fella? Who you shoving, huh? I'll show you. Shove it there.
How about taking both of them, Mr. Drysdale? No, thanks. You done it, girl. Bless you both.
Pearl, you were just great. So was you, Granny, darling.
Together, you saved that man's home and you saved his marriage. Now, don't it give you a good feeling?
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of winded. I think I'll go upstairs and rest. Call me when lunch is ready, Granny.
Oh, now, just a minute, Pearl, honey. We got a lot of mess to clean up here.
Granny, darling, you give me strict orders to stay out of your kitchen. Remember?
Why, you low down, no good.
Here we go again.
Here you are, Ma. Sign's all ready to put out front.
Doggies, that's nice.
Hey, Pearl, you sure do look pretty.
Yeah, ain't nobody can sit at a piano with the style of your Aunt Pearl.
Hey, Pearl, where'd you get the cookies? Did Granny make them for you?
No, I stirred them up this morning before she got up.
Granny's gonna whomp you for getting into her kitchen.
I didn't bother her none. Jane, what do you think of my prices?
Yeah, is that what you've been charging at home?
No, but Beverly Hills is full of millionaires and movie stars, so I figured I could double them and get away with it.
I reckon you might can. I don't recollect seeing one sign in this whole town advertising yodeling lessons.
It does take a special knack. Yodeling does. Oh, let it yodel.
I know it hurts your ears, Duke. Pretty soon me and you's gonna take a nice long walk outside.
These your cookies, Pearl, that I found in my kitchen?
Yeah, Granny, are you gonna whomp her?
Of course not. Pearl just made them to give to her music pupils.
I figured that. So I drawed some of my cider to go with them.
Well, now, ain't that nice?
Looks like you two ain't gonna fight no more.
Oh, shucks.
Now, you give a cup of this to every one of your pupils, Pearl.
Well, thank you, Granny.
Granny, this ain't none of your hard cider, is it?
Not especially. See? It ain't my hard stuff.
You'd have had every one of my pupils stoned.
Well, if they're gonna sit here and listen to you, they ought to have something to numb them.
Now, you listen to me just a doggone minute.
Diggity dog days at it again.
Jethro, you and your ma take the sign and go on.
Up in a car and stop. What would you say?
I'd say, hi, Ma. When did you learn how to drive a car?
I ain't your mom.
Yeah, I ain't.
I'm pretending I ain't so you can practice your speech. Now, start again.
How do you do, sir? This young, beautiful widow woman
What
here.
do you mean, sir?
Well, that's what you wrote for me to learn.
I wrote you 2 speeches, one for man, one for woman. I'm a woman.
I'm a man, so I learned that one. You do, sir. This young, beautiful widow woman here.
Never mind this. Just point. Say, this way to the music lessons. Can you do that?
Yes, sir.
Well, do it.
This way to the music. Excuse me, Ma. I'm sorry, Ma.
Honest to Pete, Jethro.
Duke!
Hey, here comes Ellie Mae.
Have y'all seen Duke?
Well, I seen him run out the front door, but that was some time back.
Well, Aunt Pearl, would you do me a favor and cut loose with a short blast of yodeling?
Of course. Oh, lally, oh, oh, lally, oh, lally, oh, lally, oh,
Thank you, Aunt Pearl. Sounds like he's over at the Drysdale's place.
Hey, yonder comes Mrs. Drysdale driving a car. Reckon she'd want to take lessons?
Well, Mr. Drysdale's right fond of yodeling. Maybe she will. Oh, lally, oh, lally, oh, lally, oh, lally, Tried to stop. Partner went off the road trying.
Well, that's what you get for trying to drive and close the windows at the same time.
Come right in, Mrs. Drysdale.
Margaret, how nice to see you. I was hoping you'd drop.
I insist that those hillbillies next door to us be deported.
Deported?
At once.
Where to?
Oh, any place. Pasadena.
Oh, please, Margaret.
Milford. Do you realize that Beverly Hills is preparing for its semi-centennial celebration?
Yes, but...
And do you realize that the eyes of the entire world will be on our famous city?
Yes.
And do you realize that I am the chairwoman of the celebration committee?
Yes, but...
And do you realize that famous personages will be coming to our home committee meetings? Well, answer me, Milburn. Speak up.
Oh, yes.
And do you realize that they will have to pass the Clampett home to get to ours?
What's bad about that?
They're out in front. That's what's bad. As I drove by just now, that Pearl woman screeched at me.
She's probably yodeling.
Well, it frightened me so I almost wrecked the car.
Yes. She was definitely yodeling.
That brown mongrel dog of theirs came running through our flower beds, making the most mournful racket.
Oh, don't worry, dear. I'll take care of everything.
I've already taken care of that unearthly howling. I called the dog catcher.
Well, Margaret, they won't take Pearl.
I called the dog catcher to take their dog.
Mrs. Drysdale, the Clampetts prize that animal. Ellie Mae will be heartbroken.
Then let them keep it in the house as I keep my French poodle.
Mrs. Drysdale, Duke is a hunting dog. He's used to the
Miss
outdoors.
Hathaway, I believe you have a telephone call to make.
Oh, yes. Right, Chief. Immediately.
I've also taken care of that so-called yodeling. I prefer charges against Pearl Bodine for disturbing the peace.
Come on.
Ellie, they're starting to come. Hurry down. Jeffrey, commence the playing and the singing.
Okay, Ma.
Jethro, you're supposed to be out front. And them cookies is for my students.
I got hungry.
Hey, Clint. I reckon Ellie's out looking for Duke. I'll hand out the numbers for you, Pearl.
Oh, Jed, start with the 20 or something so it'll look like we're doing a big business. Enjoy your free cookie, and you had a very good lesson.
Well, Ma!
Next.
Are you Mrs. Pearl Bodine?
Widow Bodine, they call me.
Are you the one who's been doing the yodeling?
That's right. Give him a number.
There you are.
This is my cousin Jed.
Ah, happy to meet you.
And that there's Granny. Here you are, mister. A little cup of cider. You're gonna need it. That's one of my best pupils. Come along. Come on in.
Chief, I telephoned the animal shelter.
They get Duke?
Yes, and Ellie saw them. She followed them all the way to the shelter and proceeded to, and I quote, beat the living daylights out of the entire staff.
Get over there right away.
Right, Chief.
Don't you worry, Duke. We'll get out of here. And when we do...
Ellie Mae!
Over here, Miss Jane. Did you come to let Duke and me out?
Yes, but first you must give me your word that there will be no further violence. Those men out there were simply doing their duty.
Okay, I won't hurt them no more. I busted Duke's bone a whooping that big one. Well, open up the cages.
Oh, I can't do that.
Well, Duke and me ain't coming out neither.
Ellie, dear, the animals here receive the very finest care and the kindest of treatment. If they were allowed to run loose, they might go hungry or be run over and hurt.
Well, do they have to stay here all the time?
Oh, no, only until someone comes along who'll pay for their license and give them a good home. I had to open my big mouth.
Bye. Goodbye now. You come back, you hear?
Thank you very much. Thank you. Everything all right, Sergeant? Just great. The nicest bunch of people I ever met. Sarge, you haven't had a nip, have you? Of course not. Just a friendly little sup of cider, a cup of cider. I'm taking you to the diner for a cup of black coffee. Don't be ridiculous. Maybe you'd better. I just saw a car and I can swear there's a dog driving it.
Miss Hathaway, is all them your dog?
No, Mr. Clampett. They're yours.
Howdy, Pa. This year's all friends of Duke and me.
Well, doggies.
Now, we ain't gonna have no more slapping, nor biting, nor scratching, nor spitting. You two's got to learn to get along together. Now, make up and be friends. Come on. Kiss and make up.
Ellie Mae, I think I got a job I'm going to turn over to you.
What's that, Pa?
See if you can get Pearl and Granny to stop biting and scratching at each other.
Folks is a lot harder to handle than critters, Pa.
That's true. Now, you better get all your dogs and cats outside, because the house just ain't a place to keep...
Help! Help! Oh! Help! Help! There's a big rat after me! Oh! Help! Help! Help save me from the big rat!
This here's a dog, Jethro. Don't be scared. Shame on you, Samson. You're always bullying somebody.
Baby's screaming. What's wrong?
Nothing. She's all right.
One of them dogs scared me, Mom. Oh, well, there, baby. Don't you cry. Don't you cry. I tell you, Jeff, this house is full of cats and dogs. How am I going to give Mom music lessons?
Well, Ellie Mae is just fixing to take them all down by the cement pond, ain't you, Ellie?
Yeah, Pa. I'll just run upstairs and put on my bathing suit. We'll all go swimming together.
Yeah, but Ellie Mae was supposed to help me handle my music pupils.
Well, it don't look like he's exactly swamped, Pearl.
No, and I can't understand it. I even cut my prices.
Rusty, now that you and Skippy's such good friends, I bet you'd like it fine if you could swim, too. There ain't no reason that cats can't swim just as good as dogs. It ain't nothing to it. All you gotta do is hold your head up out of the water and all your feet are kicking. Just like Skippy's doing, see? That there's what you call the dog paddle, but for you, we'll call it the cat paddle. Water ain't nothing to be scared of if you know how to swim. Watch, and I'll show you how to do it. See? Just keep everything a-moving and hold your head up out of the water so you can see where you're going. And that's all there is to swimming. And you get good enough. One of these days, I'll take you to the creek or the lake and you can catch your own fish. Oh, ain't Pearl's gonna set them dogs to howling again.
No, Sarge. I'll handle this complaint. Now, the chief wants that howling and yodeling stopped. Mrs. Drysdale's putting on the pressure. I can handle it. Those hillbillies will just soft soap and hard cider you again. But they won't get through to me. I'm a big city boy. They don't speak my language.
I'm sorry Miss Drysdale got upset about the dogs, but Ellie Mae can handle them.
Well, she better, or I may have to place her under arrest.
Ellie Mae, young fella here wants to talk to you.
Howdy. What you want to say to me?
Young fella.
Huh?
What you want to say about the dog?
What dogs?
I reckon the ones that's jumping up on you.
Oh, yeah. Wonderful. Beautiful. I love them.
Do you like cats?
I love them.
I got a cat that swims.
Wonderful.
It'd rather swim than eat fish. Come on, I'll show you.
Young fella. Don't you want to see the cat swim?
Oh, you kidding. Cats can't swim.
Critters will do things for that girl he wouldn't do for nobody else.
Come on, Rusty. Jump in. Come on, Rusty. That's the way. Good girl. Good girl.
Ain't that something?
Sure is.
How you can tell your friends you've seen a swimming cat.
Who are you kidding? Cats can't swim.
Well, how'd it go?
Great.
Take care of the dogs?
What dogs?
Don't they have a bunch of dogs?
I didn't see any. But they got a cat that swims.
Get in. I'm taking you to the diner for some black coffee.
You know, Pa, I never did figure out what that fella wanted.
Oh, he'll be back.
Ellie, you gotta do something about that dog.
What's he doing?
Well, he's digging a hole, and it makes me powerful nervous.
Well, Granny, all dogs digs holes.
Yeah, but he's digging one just my size.
Been a Filmways presentation.